Ooh, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you very much for tuning in. We are 15th of April, 2025, and we are coming live to you on Instagram, TikTok, what do we else? YouTube and Facebook. And this is a little bit of a podcast that I talk to incredible people all around the world and all around Australia. And tonight, I'm lucky to have the legendary Jack Daniels. How are you, my friend? It's something a little bit different, hey? How are you, mate? How are you, my friend? What's going on? Talk to me. Nice. So you mentioned keeping out of trouble. Is that a hard thing? uh, to the viewers that are just starting to come on in, I will apologize right now. I have like 5 different chat boxes open, so if I missed your chat, I do apologize. As we are live everywhere. So TikTok is live. Thanks, Danielle, for the love hearts too. Hey, Ruby, welcome on in. Welcome in, everyone watching at home. So let's address the elephant in the room. People have asked me, is his name really Jack Daniels? So let's start there, please. Is your name really Jack Daniels? I think that's a great name. um, can you not hang on 1 second? Apparently they can't hear you, so that's a good start, Jack. Oh no, it's not good. Oh dear. Yep, they couldn't hear you. My bad. Oh no. Oh no. Sorry. Well, actually, I tell you what, the guys on TikTok heard you. I'm sorry. live radio, live podcast. Whoops. My bad. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen that are just tuning in that can actually hear Jack now, he was just going through his name, and I won't get him to do it again. My bad.
I can do it again. I don't mind.
Okay, go. Do it again. Go from the top. Sorry. Actually, everyone can hear you. Lewis, can you hear him? Please tell me you can hear him. What we'll do is we'll start from the top. Jack Daniels, welcome in. And we'll go again. Time out. Jack, a lot of people have asked me, well, one person's asked me, is your name really Jack Daniels? Go.
So to answer that question again, no, my name is not Jack Daniels.
That's funny.
Hey?
Yeah, we're good. Yeah. We're live. Everyone can hear you.
There's a bit of a delay on my end, but no, it's okay. So for those of you who didn't hear, no, the name isn't Jack Daniels. Jack Daniels came about when I wanted to go professional with the magic industry. As I said before, I had just left the police force, and I wanted to change the name to keep the family separate from show business. So the gentleman that suggested Jack Daniels happened to be David Copperfield's manager, and the main guy responsible to create that image that David Copperfield went by. His name is Rick Marcelli. He's a really good friend of ours. So we were deciding different ways to shorten our name, and one night as a joke I mentioned Jack Daniels, and it just stuck from there, and now we are Jack Daniels.
How awesome is that? That's, look, honestly, I think it's an incredible name. So I really like that name, and it's good. It's a good drink. Now, welcome. Hello, Marie. Welcome in. Thank you. Are you excited for this? I'm excited for this. You missed our little stuff up at the start there, but hey, it's live. Anything happens when you're live. Now, Jack, I have a bunch of questions for you. At any time, if you don't wish to answer one of these questions, just say, hey, we'll leave it for another time, and I respect that.
All good. Otherwise,
You
I'll
know,
just mute my microphone. It's fine.
you know, we're both in this industry. It's an amazing industry. I have a lot of questions involving magic. I have a lot of questions involving life as well. So let's start from the top. Um, do you remember? Your first illusion the first illusion that blew your mind, the first one ever? Explain that. Do you remember that?
I do actually. It was well, let's not hide the elephant in the room. It was David Copperfield. Um, it was one of his TV specials. As a matter of fact, it was his elevator. You know, the for those of you who know David Copperfield or have seen his shows, David used to appear in an elevator
Okay.
from the theater. It's a classic illusion. Like, I mean, all magicians and illusionists, I think they all love that they're drawn to that illusion for some reason. But it's that was my very first moment that I saw. I even knew who David Copperfield was back then. So that was the main thing, and that was on his I think it was his 15 years of magic special.
Okay. And do you remember where you seen him at?
It was on TV. It was on Channel
Oh,
9.
TV, Channel 9. Okay, cool.
This was going back. This was in like 1994, I think it was.
Oh, so only like last week.
Huh?
Only like last week.
Yeah, like last week. Yeah. Sure.
My mum has come in and she says, "Hi, Jack from Hypnotic's mum."
Hello, Hypnotic's mum.
So, speaking of David Copperfield, you've got connections with David Copperfield. Talk about that. Tell me about connections with David Copperfield, because he is, well, I think he's an incredible person, an incredible illusionist. So tell us about David Copperfield, please.
Definitely. Having connected that relationship with David, I'm so grateful for it, because I got in touch with David. David runs this program called Project Magic, which is a program that's used in over 30 countries, over 1,000 hospitals now worldwide, which uses magic as a form of therapy for people who have some sort of disability. They suffer from either depression, hand-eye coordination, and what it does is it basically teaches the patients the same skills and techniques that we magicians use to fool and amaze. Well, those same principles are applied to the patient's therapy process. And what it does in return is it basically helps the person with their dexterity, hand-eye coordination, gives them a skill that an able-bodied person cannot do. So I've been in touch with David. Well, I got in touch with David purely through that program. And over the course of, I think it's been like 25 years now, it's just really amazing to have someone like David that I can call a friend. And we've chatted many times. He's appeared on calls that we've done for the Project Magic therapy programs in hospitals, and even in was it pre-COVID when was COVID? Yeah, pre-COVID. I was
2019 maybe.
Yeah, 2019. That's about right. So in early 2019, I got an invite by David to go to Vegas. And to give a talk about the Project Magic program. And we were there, we hang out, checked out his museum, went on to his private jet, his airplane hangar, and it's amazing. It's amazing to someone that you've idolized.
What an incredible moment like that.
Yeah, man.
You must have felt like you won the lotto. It would have been an incredible, and it's so good to have such an amazing, so good to work with people with disabilities, because they're just so awesome to work with, and then it makes us everyone that does magic exactly why we do it. And
well, that's the thing as well, like, because when you look at our industry, it's all about amazement and making dreams come true and all this stuff. So what better way to give back to someone who actually needs it, and at the same time use those skills as a conditioning tool to help that person to maybe pick up a spoon to feed themselves or to dress themselves and so forth. So
and you're putting a smile on their face too,
oh, definitely.
I don't know. I've done a few shows with disabled people, and I tell you what, their smiles, they are infectious, and they definitely warm your heart. That's for sure.
Oh, big time. Yeah, totally.
I do have to say hello to a few people. Hello, Baron, welcome in. Maria, welcome in, and the God, welcome in. Daniel, welcome in. I'm sorry, I've got so many screens going on. Jack, I just want to say thank you for sharing that story with us because it's always good to hear stories like that because exactly like I said before, it touches all our hearts and is exactly why we do it. This is why we love the job that we do.
Yeah,
I do appreciate you for sharing that story with me and with everyone that's live.
yeah.
So moving on, have you ever had a trick? Have you ever had a trick that has gone completely wrong in front of your live audience?
You betcha.
And okay, can you, without giving too many secrets away, can you tell us what that trick was and how did you fix it?
All right. Well, let me see. Let me think which one is good. Well, they're all good, but um the one of the big there's one that happened really bad, which I won't say for obvious reasons here. But that was in my early years. One
Thanks
was
all the
including
roses. Thank you.
fire. One was something to do with the live fire, and another one involved the dove. But I'll leave that at that. But one,
Yeah, we'll leave that one there, hey?
yeah, but one that did go wrong, which luckily we did have a plan B. Like a lot of times, a lot of the things with, especially in our industry, especially when you're dealing with illusions, it's all human error. Um, I've got an illusion called the spiker, which is this big cabinet contraption where on stage I get locked in, I get tied and shackled inside this cabinet, and I have around, I think it's around 50 spears, long sharp spears, a wall of spears that flies to, they smash right into me, and I've got to get out of the way before that happens. So on one of these occasions, on the night of the show, the mechanism that releases the wall of spears, because I'm inside the cabinet, I'm locked up, I've got no idea what's happening, so I can't see. There's a paper screen in front of me.
Yep.
The spears are on the other side of that. On one of these occasions, the mechanism that releases those spears actually went off ahead of time.
Oh, great. Okay.
Yeah. So if you can visualize me inside the box, luckily though, back then I was a little bit more skinnier, so I was like split second timing. I was able to kind of, as I'm vanishing, to speed it up a little bit more and disappear out of sight. But had I been, maybe 4 seconds there, that thing was coming straight towards me.
So was it safe to say that you may have saw yourself a little bit?
Oh, there's more than that. Yeah.
Well, actually, funny you say that. That was my next question. Not about soiling yourself on stage, but would you say that would be probably the trick that you would have closest to danger?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I can tick that off the list now because that was, you just answered 2 questions in one. I love that.
Yeah, definitely.
Let's delve into the psychology of magic, I guess. How much of the illusion is psychology compared to like the physical sort of techniques, etc., etc.? Can you sort of touch on that?
I think it's about a 50-50. Oh, actually, no, it's more than 50. I'll probably say it's like 60%. A lot of it is to do with psychology, whether you're doing whatever you're doing, whether it be mind reading, mentalism, close up illusion. A lot of it, I think it does fall down to psychology, because in a way, you're kind of, it's like your hypnosis stuff.
Yeah.
We're kind of misdirecting. It's the best way I can describe it to someone normally is, the role of us is we're going to put you through into a maze. There's a way out, but we're going to walk you all the way to the middle, leave you in the middle, and then from there you got to figure out.
You got to figure, yeah, of course.
Where to go.
Of course.
So I don't know if that explains your question, but
yeah, absolutely. That was a very good insight. Like I said, it's always good. It's always good to ask the tough questions like that, because people want to know. Like they want to know, and you do. Like I've seen your show, man, and I absolutely love it. You do. You put. You do, like you said, that maze. You take us. You lead us with water and food all the way to the middle of the maze, and then you're like, okay, guys. Enjoy getting out, like have fun. So you are Jack Daniels, the Grand Illusionist. what makes you, Jack? What makes you a grand illusionist? What, compared to, like, you've got hypnotists, you've got magicians, you've got comedy magic, you've got close-up magic. What makes you a grand illusion?
In me, or just the title in general?
Let's do two part of that question. Let's go you, and then in general as a grand illusion.
All right. Well, for me personally, grand illusionist. How can I describe this?
Hey, welcome in,
someone
Becky.
who does grand illusions is someone who's working with props, big illusions, the whole showmanship, the whole staging, spectacular, the whole shebang. So, if you're doing, like, let's say, card tricks,
Yeah,
to call yourself an illusionist, I don't know if that fits, because you're not really. I mean, depends on which way you look at it. I mean, sure, even a simple magic trick, a coin trick or a card trick, end of the day, yeah, it can be like, it can look like an illusion, but it all varies on how you look at the word illusion. Are you referring it to as the big grand illusions, or are you just referring illusions for the fact of, like, the trickery of the eye?
yeah,
So,
of course.
um, so for me, I mean, look, I've called myself the grand illusionist. But look, I've been in the industry for about 30 plus years now. So I've, through a lot of difficulty, hardship, and sweat, blood, and the whole shebang that we go through, I earned the title of grand illusionist, because that's all I was doing, was
Yeah, of
concentrating on
course.
illusions.
And I assume out of your whole career, you would have tried different niches. You would have tried close up. You would have tried comedy. You would have, you know what I mean. So I guess everyone has a niche. Like, I mean, it takes for me, there's no way that I could do close up magic. You know what I'm trying to say. Like, I don't do it as good as someone else that specializes in close up magic.
Yeah, totally.
Hey, Fletch, welcome in, mate. Thank you.
It's the same thing with me as well. Like, I mean, look, you've been doing hypnosis for so many years. So for me to do one show where it involves hypnosis, I don't have the, I don't think it's right of me to call myself a hypnotist, because I've just started in the game. So
yeah, of course.
I haven't gone through the levels of, the learning curves and all that stuff. So it's the same thing with illusions. Like, just because you bought a box doesn't mean that you're a grand illusionist. You got to work up to the showmanship. You got to work up onto the theatrics. You can't just title yourself, "Oh, hey, I'm this guy today," because I bought this thing.
But let's be honest here. How amazing is it, as an illusionist, that you can just take a little briefcase to a show and not take your big tricks that take like 6 hours to build? How good is it just how good is it just to rock up with a briefcase and a microphone and go, "Hey, here I am."
I know, right? That's the thing. Like, when I do my close-up magic sometimes, like, and I compare the shows, the shows, you got like a 4-ton truck full of road cases, and you got about 10 people in the crew working with you. You're bumping in from 7 o'clock in the morning and not leaving the venue till 2 o'clock in the following morning.
Yes.
As opposed to going up to a little gig where one little bag, a deck of cards, in and out in like an hour.
Yeah. And it's incredible. There is a lot of people out there that they don't see that side of us getting there at 7 o'clock in the morning, setting up for 6-8 hours, then doing a 2-hour show and then packing down. It's like, oh, there's a guy on stage. He's magic. He's cool. He must have just, he knows what he's doing. But there's a lot of prep work, and you know yourself, Jack, that you put hours, days, months, years into making a show and bringing it all together. And I've seen, like I said, I've seen your show and the way that you bring stuff together, and your lights and your sound and your music and your screens. And like I said, it's if anyone is out there that wants to see Jack's show, it's an incredible show, and I highly recommend seeing your show, mate, because it's really cool, and it's, like as a magician, we go to magic shows and we sit there and we're like, oh, we know how this is done and we know how this is done, and which is all well and good, but I sat in your show and there was like 3 or 4 tricks that I was blown away with, and there was some that I did know, but it's the way you did it. It's the way that you presented it. I thought, you know,
Appreciate it, man.
it's
Thank you.
incredible. It's incredible. So,
Oh, that means a lot. Thank you. I appreciate that.
so as magicians, I know how I do it, but I want to get your insight on this. How do you deal with people like consistently trying to figure out how it's done? Like, how do you deal with that? Like, you know, you look on social media and there's 25 comments from people that are, you know, that are writing things, which, you know, we love all people, which is great. I love seeing all the people. But how do you deal with that?
Um, I honestly I find it hard to sometimes. Like people want to know. Like there's nothing wrong about knowing how to do things. Obviously, it's not real. End of the day, it's a trickery. We're not. You're not miracle workers. You're not really sawing someone in half
I'll tell you
or
what, if we were, we would be winning the lotto, wouldn't we?
oh, why would we be here otherwise? Exactly, right? Why
Uh,
why why make why get you to say, hey, pick a card when I can do something else? Um, but no, like, because yeah, look, I think it's fun to try and figure out how it's done. It's like it's a puzzle. End of the day, it's a puzzle. Um, the only difference is, as illusionists or magicians or hypnotists, we know something that the general public don't know, which is the methods.
yeah,
Um, but the downside of it is when people just assume just knowing the method is enough. Like a lot of these times that you see on YouTube nowadays, or on Insta and all that, very short videos where people like they're just revealing it just for the hell of views and likes and clicks. That to me, it's a bit of a downside to the
yeah,
industry because
yep,
for someone who spent so many years and as you know as well, these things are not cheap. They're quite expensive, and the downside is, especially from the creator's perspective, where someone spent so many years and time and money and investments to try and come up with a concept for someone, some little kid to just to get up and just do a video
yeah,
to
yeah.
or
It's like what 5 years of learning a trick. It all comes crashing down in 2 minutes of
yeah.
fame, doesn't it? Like, and
Well, that's it.
yeah,
And that's not all there is. The secret isn't all to do with the magic.
uh,
Again, it falls down to the showmanship, the presentation, the choreography.
yep,
It's not just about knowing how it's done. If that part's easy. It's how everything else is put together. Um, but yeah, I don't know. I don't know. It's a bit of a. I don't mind people trying to figure out how it's done because it
mm,
kind of gives you the chance to improve yourself as well, because it kind of gives you a bit of a challenge.
yeah,
Is good, which is what we need. Because if everyone in the audience was sitting applauding and their mouth is on the floor and they're just so
yeah,
amazed, yeah, that's good for a little bit. But then what? It gets boring. So
yeah. You're absolutely right. Yeah, for sure.
for someone who comes up and says, "Hey, I think I know how you did it," I always like to give them the time just to see how their mind is working.
Mm.
And if they're spot on, I generally try and persuade them in a different direction. So they
Is that
they
is
see
that called
themselves even more. So
is that called misdirection?
well, there you go. That's exactly what it's called.
I just have to do special mention. Thanks for all the love to you guys. All the donuts and TikTok gifts. So you just said about people's mouths on the ground. Is that the reaction? Is that the reaction that you want from your audience? Do you want that reaction? Well, like, what's your best reaction that you want to get from an audience member when you do a
That's
trick?
a good question. It's obviously we all like the whole the applause and the praise and all that stuff, but that's good for a little bit. I mean, obviously, if people applaud and they're in that state of awe and amazement, it's good for you as a performer because they're appreciating what you've done, or you've done something right
Yeah.
for them to give you that response. But at the same time, that's not really what feeds me, like what fills me up. What really gives me the energy is the person who's sitting in the audience, with their arms crossed and they don't look
Yes.
impressed. It's that one individual that becomes my target because I want to know, what am I doing wrong that I cannot make that guy applaud, or I can't.
Yeah. What? Yeah. You're sort of like on the spot trying to better yourself. You're trying to, like, you know, you're doing an amazing job already, but in the back of your mind, you look down and you go, why can't I, you know,
exactly.
why can't, or you get that, you do this really amazing trick and you're like, everyone's just like completely blown away and you're like, well, you can clap now. That was pretty, you're pretty chuffed with yourself. That was pretty good.
No, that's it. And I think that's like, that's the good thing about it. That's, if you look at those signs, that's what's going to kind of drive you more to
Yep.
better improve yourself. Because, you know, if all you're getting is applause, all you're getting is a big ego. And I hate ego. I cannot stand people who have a massive ego, or, you know, if you put themselves before everyone else.
Yeah.
That's not really my
It's not a good vibe, is it?
No, it's not.
No.
And the audience feel that as well. Like, I mean, so if you're feeding off purely off that, then you don't really have much far to go, to be honest with you.
Interesting. Yeah, I know what you're trying to say, absolutely, because you're like, and let's take away magic for a second. Like, you watch a movie, right? And you watch an actor or a player or a singer, like, you can kind of sum up a person within the first couple of minutes. Like, and as you said, if you come out ego based and you think that you're king shit per se, you're going to get a lot of people offside, because people just want to see a real person. They want to see that you're just a normal human being. And what I really loved about your show is, which you don't normally see people do it, but you come down them front steps out of the curtains, and I think, because I was watching, I'm a good watcher, and I reckon you might have missed 2 people out of a room full of 200 people that you didn't say hello to, but just because they left or just because they had something going on. But you literally made a point of going around to every person to say, hey, thank you for coming. Yeah. And I know myself, if a person that I just paid $40 to go see, if they come up to me and said, hey, mate, I just want to appreciate you for coming to watch this show, you know, I would walk out there going, you know what, that Jack fella, he is an absolute legend. Like he spoke to me. Like, I'm just a nobody. Like, this guy that just done this amazing stuff on stage, come and spoke to me. Like, and I tell you what, it puts like fire in your belly, and it makes you want to go out and be a magician, or it makes you want to go out and be an actor or a fireman or something like that. Like, it's incredible. We change people's lives. It's great.
Especially when you have a kid after a performance, you know, same thing with the kid. You know, if you give that kid the time of day, you know, yeah, sure, after the show, everyone's tired. The last thing you want to do is talk. Sometimes you just want to get your crew and out of the venue. But, you know, the impact that it will have mentally on that individual.
It could change that kid's. It could change that kid's life forever.
Definitely, totally.
You know, and you know yourself, if you had a really bad day and and someone says, "Hey, mate, thanks for coming," like, it goes a long way. It
doesn't hurt to say hello, regardless of how busy or who you are.
Absolutely. So, moving forward, because I have a lot of questions. This will be a good question for you, I reckon. If you could, this is so cliche. If you could pull an object out of a hat for real, what object would it be? Please do not say rabbit, please.
I was going to say a hair, but no. That's a different joke.
It is a different joke.
If I could pull an object out of a hat, I don't know. I don't know, man. I
tell you what. Think about it, and we'll come back to it, because I want to know. I want to know what you're going to pull out. Cool. I've done a comeback to that. Okay. Do you ever go to? I get asked this a lot too, so it's good to. It's Maria. Maria said that is a hard question.
That's definitely a hard question.
So, quick little fact about Maria: she is actually based in the UK, and I assume that it's. Don't know what time it is over at the moment, but she's on live and she's watching, which is great. At parties, when you go to a party, are you like, it's 10:38, she said. Thanks, Marie. Thanks for that. At parties, are you like the guy that people come to and go, hey, show us a trick? Like, there's a magician here. Cool. Like, you know, like your friends at a party, like are you the life of the party, Jack?
I wouldn't say the life of the party, but I get asked like it's funny because when I'm not working, when I'm not on stage or doing a gig or whatever, my private life is very different to what I am actually as what you see on stage. Like during my private life, I'm very quiet. Funny enough, I'm actually a shy guy. But when someone notices me, or they know that, oh, hey, it's Jack, this guy does magic or whatever. Yeah, you always get asked that question. Hey, show me a trick or do something. So yeah, I mean it happens quite a bit. But luckily, I don't carry anything with me, so I don't do anything.
You don't. You're like, no, I don't have anything on me. Don't ask me.
No, I generally carry like 2 or 3 things that can fit in my wallet.
or you just ask them for their $50 note and then you go missing.
Yeah, that's basically
I
it.
want to, Jack. I want to touch on. I want to touch on a little bit of the mental health side of performing. Um, let's. I don't want to get too deep, obviously, but let's talk about it because you know, mental health means a lot to everyone and means a lot to me. Um, in your career, how did you deal, or did you ever experience mental health like anxiety, depression?
Yeah.
Um, if you did, if you want to, how did you like cope with that? How did you know? Because I
Um,
assume there would be a lot, there'd be good days and dark days as
of
everyone
course.
else.
Yeah.
Could you just touch on that for me just a little
Yeah.
bit?
I had Jack Daniels come around.
Yeah,
No, no,
literally.
no, 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 no. We
uh,
we hung out. Jack Daniels, Johnny Walker, Midori came over
yeah,
as well.
yes, yes. Oh
No, no, no,
my,
no. But no, jokes aside, no, man. Look, I think our industry, the moment you start to make it into a business, you're hit with depression. You're hit
yeah,
with anxiety. I've gone through like a lot of depression, a lot of anxiety because it gets to the times when sometimes you want to do stuff that are not exactly happening the way you want it to,
yeah,
or you're trying to rush time. You're putting too much pressure on yourself, whether it be family or bills, or hey, you got to make a living somehow, right? Um, so the industry that we're in, as a matter of fact, any type of industry like entertainment, mostly, I think a lot of people do suffer from mental issues like that. Um, the way I dealt with it, I don't know, man. I think to me, depression has always been more of a state of mind. If I could change my mindset,
yeah,
I found that it kind of helped a little bit. Because if you're going to sit down and get worried and just thinking about the worst,
yeah,
and look, mind you, I have had a lot of dark times, a lot of dark times that very little people know about. So I've gone through all that pain, but I think it just comes down to me is just the mindset, your actual mindset. If you are able to change your mindset, look at the positive, and just try and understand that things will happen if they're meant to happen. You
yeah.
cannot
Everything happens for a
can't
reason.
rush things.
Yeah, of
Yeah,
course, of
everything.
course.
I don't take anything for coincidence. Like,
Yep.
if it's all meant to be, it's meant to be. So, I don't take anything for chance or coincidence. I just learned just to deal with it.
Yep.
Um, yeah, I don't know. I just kind of self cured myself in a way,
Yeah. Okay.
just by
Okay. Yeah.
keeping the mind active and positive.
Have you ever
But
had a Have you ever had a moment? Have you ever had a moment before going on stage that anxiety's hit, or and you feel like you couldn't possibly go out, but then you sort of, like you said, that
yeah,
mindset of you push yourself, and then eventually you get your feet and you're back to, I wouldn't say normal, but you know what I'm trying to say. Like,
yeah.
have you ever had that moment just before a show where you're like, I can't do this. I can't go out there.
It's not so much for me. It's never been so much as a point of like, oh no, I can't do this. Probably around, I would probably say maybe 7 years ago, I went for a pretty bad, like a really bad downfall. And at one point when we did have a show, just driving to the show, I was in that depressed mindset because I didn't feel like I was good enough. I didn't
Yeah.
feel like, um, you know, let's say you're not financially where you want to be. You're in that whole dilemma. There was a massive rock on my shoulders. So I went to the gig without even wanting to. I've never canceled a gig in my entire life, and I never will. But I still went to this gig feeling really down about myself. And just before showtime, I'm scanning the audience, trying to read them and trying to, just do what I normally do as show prep. And it got to the point that I'm like, wow, I must be like the most low life person in this room right now
Yeah.
compared to my audience. Um, but then just the whole mindset kicked in where I'm like, hang on, no, these people have come to see me, so they're noticing me, they're acknowledging me. So by the time I went on stage, I felt like I was playing a Las Vegas showroom.
Yeah, of course, of course.
You know,
So
the adrenaline kicked in, and but yeah, no, like yeah, there's been a few times where, like I said, I haven't really felt bad about walking on stage from not performing wise, but through other issues that you just have to learn to kind of push yourself over it and just leave that aside and just get up on stage and do what you do.
yeah, well, it definitely would take a toll on you though over time of being in that mental state. And like I said, thank you for sharing the insight. Because a lot of people don't know the other side. They just see
Yeah.
the fun, crazy magic guy, you know.
Well, that's it.
And yeah, we're real people.
Yeah.
We are real
You know,
people, and we all suffer anxiety and depression, and
yeah.
we all have money worries and stresses. And you could you could do the best show in the world, and you could still feel the most depressed in the room, couldn't you? I guess, if that
Totally.
makes
Well,
sense.
it's like they say, look at Robbie Williams, for example. Was it Robbie Williams? Yeah, the comedian.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. He was like,
You see
who would
that
have
guy on
thought?
movies, he's laughing and he's having a
Man,
ball,
he
and he's
was
always,
like incredible. He was funny.
yeah,
He was like you felt like, well, I could probably go to the pub with that guy because he would be a ball of fun.
yeah.
But
In
little do
reality,
you
look at
know,
the difference,
it just
once the
goes to
spotlight's
show.
off, yeah,
It just goes to show that be kind to everyone. Be kind to everyone, and yeah, check on people. Check on
yeah,
people, even if they look like they're doing great and smashing it, still check on them.
yeah, definitely.
Let's change the vibe a little bit. Here's another would you rather. Would you rather be able to actually read minds or teleport?
Oh,
I'm full of hard questions, mate. I tell you, I've got all the questions going on,
damn.
and I still want to know what you're going to pull out of the hat.
I would probably like to read minds.
Oh, would that be scary though?
I don't think so.
Hey King, how are you?
I don't think so. I think it'll be no, I don't think it'll be so. I think it'll be pretty cool. I'll because I mean, if you're gonna teleport, like, what do you do? Like, you
Good,
teleport from
thanks, mate.
here
Good,
to
good.
there.
Would you really want to know what someone was really thinking about you though?
Probably not about me, but
Can you imagine that? Be like, oh, oh, I hope you're doing well, mate. And then just secretly in their mind, they're just like, I hate this guy so much.
yeah. Well, I guess it'll be a way to know who your real friends are and how to react, counter attack that.
That's true. That's true. It's a good way of putting it. I don't know. I reckon. I don't know what I would choose. I'd probably maybe I don't know, teleport. I
You're
reckon.
leaning more towards teleportation.
Yeah, I reckon so too. I wouldn't want to. I wouldn't want to know what people thought, what they really thought. I don't
What
know.
would you do if you teleported though? What are you gonna do?
I've always wanted to go to Egypt, so I could just maybe I could just go straight to Egypt. I don't know.
Yeah.
Here's one for you. Uh, I don't know if this will ever happen, and I pray to God that it doesn't. But if magic was outlawed tomorrow, what would you do?
I'll join back with the police force.
Yes, would you go back to the police force?
Yeah, definitely. Definitely.
Okay. We have a question. We have a question. Do you do telekinesis? You made a part of me move without touching.
I
Is
made a
that
public move. I hope I'm not the right. I hope I'm not thinking about the what I made you move. Um, I don't know. Is it maybe I did have telekinesis?
I don't
Is
know,
that
but I don't know. You've just touched Barry in so many different ways, Jack. Um, only on TikTok.
keep your hands on the table, Barry?
Maria said that she absolutely agrees. She hates any kind of commitment, so teleporting would save my life.
Yeah.
That's funny. um, so let's go back to that. Let's go back. You'll go join the police force. Can you tell us? Can you tell us a little bit? What was it like in the police force? I completely didn't ask you this at the start of the conversation, so I apologize for that. Let's go back
No,
to
man.
there.
Look. I won't say too much about it, but the the one thing about the force, I don't know. To me, I just loved it. Like every second of it. I mean, I was doing my training, my field placement. Back then, it was in North Shore in Chatswood,
Yep.
and it got to the point where my acting, what do you call it, the training officer, they had to kick me out to go home because I didn't want to go home because I was just so fast. I was so into it. Um, I just enjoyed the whole thing, but
Look, it seems like a pretty cool job.
oh, totally. And look, it's an amazing job. The downside is, back then I was still doing magic as well.
Yeah.
So it was a situation where,
Excuse me.
you came to the realization that with our industry right now, you go out, you have fun, you make people laugh. Um, there isn't any negativity or any hate or anything like that. Whereas with the other side, with policing, it's a whole different environment.
Yep.
You
Yep.
know, you hear every swear word you can think of. You get spat at. There's fights and the whole the chaos that comes with it. So and your eyes trained to spot out the negative side of life. So wherever you go, you're trying to find. You're just getting vibes of, okay, this person might be on something. There's something going on over
Yeah.
there.
Of course. Of course. Yeah.
You're always seeing the bad side, which isn't really good as well.
Mm.
Um,
But
but
that's interesting though to say that you would go back. There was obviously some at some stage of your life, and probably still now, that you really enjoyed about the force.
oh yeah, totally.
And you
Yeah,
would
no,
have and you would have made mates for life too. You would have made
oh
you would have
definitely.
met incredible people,
Yeah,
just as you do in the magic career as well.
yeah,
Hello,
probably.
hello, Kira. Welcome on in. Hey, Becky. Welcome in. Thanks everyone for doing the TikTok stuff. Thank you so much. People on Facebook, people on Instagram, people on YouTube. Thank you very much. Um, let's. Oh, what's Can you think of a trick that took you the longest to master? Can you think of one trick that you just couldn't get, and then like after so many years, or how long did it take you to master it?
Well, I'm
It
actually
has
working
it,
on one.
it has been a minute too. Sorry, Jack, Kira. It has been a hot minute. I've been great.
No, well, I'm actually working on one at the moment, which has been probably 12 months in the making, and it's still nowhere near completion yet.
Do we do we
And
get a little teaser?
it's I've got a model. We made a model of it somewhere.
Oh, I do love models.
It's actually my motorbike appearance.
Hey, Gerald. It's a motorbike appearance.
Motorbike appearance. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Now
So,
that that's cool. That's
but I
cool.
don't want to. We're trying to find a way to make this bike appear on a race platform, but not the traditional, not the standard methods that
Yes.
most
Yeah.
most
Yeah.
people do. Or not something that you can just buy and do. So I'm really trying to push the boundary a little bit and try and come up with a whole new way.
So
Uh,
when do you think that trick will be to stage?
um, I could probably say maybe another 12 months, but it's one thing to just come up with the concept, and then it's another thing to get the funds to build the damn thing. So that's
Of course. Yeah.
that's the hard part of it,
Of
as you
course.
would know with these props. They don't come cheap. So
No.
it's trying to come up. So for the last 12 months, all I've been doing was just out of plywood or cardboard, making mock-ups I think I've got part of it over here. It's actually comprising of my logo. So the whole idea was to have my logo on stage, and in front of this there'll be another platform so the audience can see under it, above it, all the way around. And on top of this, if that platform's there, for example, on
Yeah,
top of that platform, once the girls walk in with holding the cloth, they drop the cloth and the motorbikes appeared in an
that's
instant.
that's cool. I like
Um,
that.
but yeah, I mean, we've been testing it out on videos and trying to take shots in different positions. But again, like I said, it's one thing to come up with a concept; it's another thing to,
To actually build it, of course.
you
Yep.
know,
And what
find meaning in building and in transport.
speaking of how expensive things are, do you think how many houses how many houses do you think that you would have owned if you didn't buy lots of magic?
Oh
Because
man,
I reckon I would have had about 10 by now. Just saying.
yeah. No, yeah, we would have been up there.
Kira said that trick sounds sick, and she would love to see it.
Oh, sounds good. Well,
Um.
you'll get to see it.
Oh, here's a question for you. What is something that the audience never realizes about performing live illusions?
The amount of work that's going backstage.
I like
Um,
it. I like that. Can you delve into that a little bit more for me, please?
yeah, that's and this is one, as
And just quietly, what do you mean that? What do you mean backstage? Like, are you what? Have you got helpers? Oh,
you mean
what?
there's more than one person?
Oh, here I am thinking that it's just you, but
Yeah,
mind blown.
this guy's killing the magic. No, no. Well, it's the amount of stuff that goes on. The thing about these type of shows is the audience only ever gets to see the performer, right? You only see the performer, so you assume that that's the show. It's just one guy or one girl on stage, and they're running everything. But it's far from the truth because
Yeah,
backstage it's an absolute chaos. Um, for example, in my show, I've got three dancers, I've got two stage hands, we've
yeah,
got the live video feed, we've got the stage manager, we've got the, as you know, lights, sound technician. There's so much stuff going on backstage
yeah.
where I rely on them to make me look good in front of the audience. So um, I owe it all to my team. At the end of the day, I mean, it's without them, there's absolutely no way I can do any of my shows
And
because
what I really loved about your show is at the end of your show, you brought all your people out that work for you, and they had a bow, and everyone cheered and applauded.
yeah.
I walked out of there, and I said to my partner, I said that is incredible, like because you just said it yourself, my friend. Without them, we look shit.
Yeah,
We really do. We really do.
yeah. They're the ones who are making you look like a superstar. So,
Absolutely.
and this is why I don't work in ego environments, or I don't have anyone on my crew who is
Yeah.
ego headed, because
Yep.
the moment you get that thought in your mind, that's it, you've lost it. So trying to keep it all neutral where everyone gets along, everyone can rely on one another. If something goes wrong, there's other people to jump in and help out. So they need all the attention and all the credit, because they're the ones. The real show isn't watching me on stage. The real show is what you're not seeing behind the curtains.
Yeah, of
That's the
course.
real show.
Of course. Yep. Yeah, okay. Well, like I said, I must admit, I really, really liked that bit of your show. Like I said,
Thanks, buddy.
like I mean, I loved it all, but when you brought all your team out and thanked everyone, I was like, yep, that is definitely a showman. That is,
Appreciate it, man.
you take because look, let's be honest. As a reformer, there is a slight bit of ego with us. There has to be, otherwise
Yeah,
we wouldn't be able to transform into a person that we're not.
right.
Um, but to actually to realize that, oh, hang on a minute, sorry, mate. What am I going to do here? Oh my god, what have I done here? Oh dear. Hang on a minute.
These objects are
I've got a TikTok thing saying that I'm inactive. Complete. Which of these objects are covered in wool? Oh my god! I have to sheep. Okay, we're back.
We're back. Awesome. So
Hey,
Scotty saved.
hey, Erica. Hey, Joey. How are you? Joey. Joel. My bad. Sorry, Joel. Yeah, in Instagram. Sorry, mate. He's gonna slap me down. I've lost my train of thought. You're still alive. I am still alive. I'm kicking.
Show business.
What was he talking? Oh yes, you bringing people out. Your backstage crew, bringing them out and thanking them in front of everyone. That's
Yeah.
like I said, it was incredible to watch. I do have a few more questions to get through before we do finish. Have you thought about what you're going to pull out of that hat yet?
I would probably pull out a I don't know, a couple of gold bricks.
Gold bricks. I like that answer. It's like I do like that answer. Gold bricks. I'm going to write that down because just writing that Jack owes me gold bricks. Have you ever surprised? Sorry, no, I will reword that. Have you ever been surprised by your own illusion, or have you ever missed? Do you ever miss the wonder?
I have been surprised in the fact of choreographing one illusion, which probably we spent about 5 months trying to choreograph it. So I wasn't so much surprised about the how can I refresh it? Hang on. I was more surprised the way the audience reacted to it than anything else, because we thought this illusion is going to be the best choreo throughout the entire 2-hour show, and what the audience walked away with was the finale of the show. The finale of the show was more interesting and more appealing to them, which was something so small than a major piece of illusion that took us 5 months to just choreograph and constantly rehearse on.
Yeah. Okay.
And you know, and it was a really funny moment, because it's one of those illusions where it's the illusion, you know, the interlude where the magician stands in a contraption and the girl goes in from the back and comes out of the stomach. So we wanted to do this super well, so we spent so much time trying to figure out the dance moves and the choreo and all that stuff with the music and all that, and it took most of the time. We spent so much time on this. And then the finale of the show is as you would see, my snowstorm, where I produced snow from my hands. That snow got it got so much more attention and like enjoyment than that illusion itself. So that's what surprised me.
Do you miss the wonder? Do you like?
I do actually.
Do you miss sitting down to watch a magic show and not knowing how it's done?
I do.
You miss it. You miss it.
That's the sacrifice that we have to pay. You know, we know how things work, so it's very hard for us to be. You know, you look around. The audience are, you know, when you go to see another magic show, like a proper illusion show, and the audience are completely gobsmacked and they're enjoying it, but you don't have that wonderment in you anymore.
Yeah. I know. You sort of the wow of it sort of disappears, doesn't it, a little bit?
Yeah.
Well, Jack, before we sign off, I do want to ask you one more question, and then I have a series of little questions I've got to ask you just for fun.
You can do a magic trick as well if you want.
Well, so we're going to sign off with a magic trick. I'll sign off with a magic trick because I want to show you one too.
Oh.
So Jack Daniels, right? Is there something that we don't know about Jack Daniels? If there's one thing that we wouldn't know, what would that be? If you wish to say, of course.
Man.
No. You know what? I'm gonna reword that question. At the end of the day, what makes you you? So sum yourself up in 3 words. That's probably better. That's probably a better question.
Summarize myself in 3 words, huh? That would be Humble, positive, and giving back.
I like it. And you forgot legend, but yeah.
Yeah, far from that.
Okay. Before we get into the tricks, I have a little side questions. Do you like twisties? If so, chicken or cheese? Which one?
Cheese.
Cheese. Okay. I love that. What is your favorite shape? Like your Arnott shapes, you know, like your pizza shapes,
Oh,
or
yeah.
yeah.
The bacon one.
Oh, cheese and bacon.
Cheese and
Oh
bacon.
no. Oh no.
Whoa.
Oh no. I asked this question a couple of months ago to someone, and someone said that cheese and bacon is the worst flavor in the world. But
Oh, you gotta. I love it. That's the best one. That's the best one.
And one last question: if you could, oh, there you go. Look, Kira.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, Kira goes, I love cheese and bacon. Nice.
I got fans.
If there is one piece of advice that you could give someone about wanting to be a magician or just wanting to do life, what would that be?
I would say listen to everybody, regardless of what they say, whether it be negative or positive, and but don't be afraid to make up your own mind at the end of the day.
I love that. I love that. I love that. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to do. I'm going to do a magic trick for Jack, and then I'll get Jack to do his trick, and then Erica said, "Run."
Run, Erica! Run, Erica!
So, Jack, I'm going to do my trick. I don't know how this is going to go because I did not prepare this, but and you can't really see, so I'm going to just.
Oh, it works out even better for you then.
You gotta trust me. You gotta trust me on this. And then what we'll do is we'll sign off, and we'll get all your contacts, like all your social medias and stuff, so people can find you. And then I want to see a trick, and then we'll sign off. And it's been an absolute ball. So I have a deck of cards. Okay, now Jack, what I want you to do for me is, if I can see properly, obviously you know the 4 different suits: spades, clubs, hearts, diamonds, and so on. Clubs. What I want you to do for me is I want you to pick a suit. Have you got a suit for me?
I do.
Okay, I want you to name it out aloud and tell everyone what the suit is.
Say it out loud.
Yep.
Ace of diamonds.
No, not the card. Just the suit.
Hearts.
You want hearts. Okay. Yeah. So what would be your favorite heart card? And I'll see if I can see.
Do you want to say it or think it?
Yeah, no, you can say it. Yeah, you can say it.
My favorite heart card will probably be a king.
The king. Okay. So what we're going to do, right, is we're going to stick with hearts. But I already know your card, right? I already know the king. Yep. I want you to think of a different heart card. Have you got that in your mind? Think of a different one. Yep. Now that card would have a number. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Okay. Even though if it was the jack, it would be 11. Queen would be 12. You get the idea. Yep. Now, I want you to have that card in your mind, and I want you to grab that number, and I want you to double that number.
Yeah. What am I looking for? Yeah, all good.
Oh, you got it. I thought you were going to write it down. I was like, Jesus Christ, you've come prepared. No. Okay, so you've got that number?
I have doubled it, yep.
You've got it, okay. Now, I should keep these up here too, by the way. Yeah, okay, that would help. So you've got it, that number, the new number. Now, what I want you to do for me is I want you to double that new number again.
Okay.
Have you got it?
I do.
Okay, for the very first time, what is that number?
16.
You're going to make me count 16 cards. Okay, keep me honest. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16.
Yeah.
For the very first time, what was the card?
The second card, it was the 4 of hearts. Oh, very nice. That's not bad at all.
Thank you.
I like that. Yeah, very good on that one.
You like
Bravo,
that? Thank you so much.
bravo. The wonderment's back.
Okay, Jack, please let my viewers, your viewers, everyone know where can we find you?
Well, just look up Jack Daniels Grand Illusionist on all social media platforms. You'll find us under that title, Jack Daniels Grand Illusionist. Facebook, YouTube,
There you go.
Instagram.
There you go, guys. His DMs are open. Nah.
Yeah.
Jack, look, mate, before you do your trick, I just want to say from the bottom of my heart, I want to thank you for coming on tonight. I know that you are a busy family man, and I know that family time at like 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock is very important to you. And I just want to say thank you. Thank you for coming on and doing this with me. Whatever this is and whatever this will be, I just want to say thank you for your time, and
Not all, man.
it's been an absolute pleasure. So without further ado, please, Jack, can you show us
Right.
what you've got, please?
You
Everyone,
wanna do two?
everyone watching, everyone watch.
Can I do two for them?
You can do two. Let's do
Let me
it.
do two because they might not be able to see this.
Let's do it.
So I don't know if you guys can see this or not. Hopefully you can. It's a photo of a watch. Is that visible on your end?
Yes, I can see that. I can see
Now,
that.
I'm covering the time because I don't want them to see what time it is just yet.
Okay.
So what I'm going to do is I'll leave it right here like this so you guys can see. That photo was printed last week and it's enclosed inside of this plexiglass display box. So what I want right now, I want one of the viewers to give me a time, like an hour of the day, and I want to see if if I could have predicted what someone would have chosen.
Okay,
So
I am. My eyes are peeling the comments. Okay,
yeah,
I got the first one. I've got 6 p.m.
6 p.m.
6 p.m.
Wouldn't it be amazing
No,
if the time that was on this photo was actually 6 p.m.? That'd be cool, right?
I would be impressed.
Check it out.
No,
Can you see that properly?
no, I can see it properly, and I don't want to see it.
That's 6 p.m. Polaroid snapshot right there. There you go. That's that. But no, let me do another one for you guys really quickly. This one's pretty cool. Like a lot of times, because we've got a lot of family and friends overseas who they want to know if you can do any magic over the screen. So I'm going to give everybody watching right now the opportunity to take part in literally a virtual illusion.
I love this. Let's go.
So is my hand in display?
Yes, I can see it. I can see your hand.
All right. I want everybody watching right now to go ahead, touch the screen, and place your finger on my pinky. All right, everybody.
Everyone do that. On your pinky.
Touch my pinky. Keep your finger right there. In a moment, I'm going to ask you to move 5 times. Now, you can move 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Or you can go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's totally up to you.
Okay.
As long as you move 1 finger per count.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Perfectly sense.
All right. So if your finger's on my pinky right now, go ahead and move 5 times on my count. 1 finger per count. So move now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and keep your finger right there. So far, so good.
Okay.
Now, I know for a fact that no one's on my thumb right now, so I'm going to remove my thumb. And since we started with the pinky, I'm also going to eliminate the pinky. So you guys should be on one of these 3 fingers right now. I want you to move 3 moves this time. So only 3 moves, remembering to keep 1 move per finger.
Okay. 3. Did you say move 3 times?
Yeah, move 3 times, 1 finger per count.
Okay.
So whenever you're ready, 1, 2, 3, and you should be on a new finger right now.
Yep.
Correct? All right. Now, A moment ago, a lot of you were on my ring finger, but I'm pretty sure you're not there now, so we're going to remove the ring finger. This time, I want you to move only once. Make one move, your final move. Move now. One. And keep your finger right there. Now, what's amazing about this is if I've done it correctly, even though you guys are at home and I'm here in my house, the magic should have worked over the screen because I know that you are on my index finger.
Bravo.
Did I get it right? I think I got it right.
Oh God, that's gonna shit me off all night.
Oh, there you go.
God. Well, Jack, mate, I've said it before. I'll say it again. It's been an absolute pleasure having you on tonight.
Thank you, buddy.
Mate, much love. You know that I love you. And you know, I am so grateful. I'm so grateful that I made an incredible friend in you. And mate, I assume and I hope that our friendship lasts until we die. So
you betcha, mate. Well,
in that note, ladies and gentlemen, I just want to say thank you for tuning in. Much love to everyone on TikTok. Much love for everyone on YouTube, Instagram. Thank you so much. Over to Facebook. Thank you so much, everyone. All the loves. And who knows, there may be a Jack Daniels and Hypnotic show in the near future. So keep your eyes peeled.
Keep your eyes open for that one.
And once again, Jack, mate, absolute legend. And
Thanks for having me, man.
I appreciate everyone. And I will see you guys soon.
Jack out.